Hello everyone, and welcome to this episode of Mel Talks About Health. As you can see, I've had to change my setting thanks to being in Tier 3, so I'm out for some socially distanced exercise with my camera woman. Hang on, I'll find somewhere to perch for a moment so I can talk to you properly. That's much better. With the continuing effects of the pandemic and having a Christmas coming up that for most people will look significantly different than they would like, there's just no better time to speak about mental health. It's been fantastic to see the growing focus on mental health over the last few years, especially since it's been such an intimate and somewhat stigmatized topic for so long. But many of us still find it a troubling issue to admit to ourselves, let alone to friends or healthcare professionals. Many of us brush off how we feel and try and keep calm and just carry on, or think that it's not something that can be helped. And right now, more people than ever are suffering from mental health concerns, so we need to be able to talk about this openly. COVID-19 is having a huge impact on the way most of us live our lives. Even just being cooped up at home, not being able to socialize or connect with others, or even just to do the little things we usually do. This is having such an effect on the way we feel. Lots of us feel concerned or upset by the things we see on the news or the things we hear or read about the coronavirus. It can make us feel isolated, lonely, angry, or depressed about the future. It can come out in huge bursts like crippling anxiety attacks or quieter but no less destructive creep up of low mood or depression. Please remember, you're not alone. We are not alone. The way you feel is understandable and very important, and there are practical strategies that can help you to get through this, because you will. And we will. A fairly overwhelming 82% of UK adults, according to a study by the Mental Health Foundation, confirmed that they have experienced stress because of the pandemic. A social study showed that in the last 2 weeks, 10% of the population experienced suicidal thoughts or feelings. We also see statistics on resilience saying that most people, 64%, say that they are coping well with the stress of the pandemic, which, glass half empty, means that a whopping 36%, over a third of the population, if we extrapolate, believe that they are not coping well with the stress of the pandemic. Over a third of us are not coping. While we have heard that the government has committed billions to the COVID-19 pandemic, you may not be surprised to hear that there is a lack of transparency on how these funds have been allocated, and in particular to mental health services. Due to limited care spaces for acute cases, people are being discharged into the community without adequate aftercare in place to ensure a safe transition back into their everyday lives and pressures. People who need help are being placed on waiting lists to be seen by mental health professionals, leaving them extremely vulnerable and at very high risk. The potential of a wait for many months or over a year in some areas for even telephone-based sessions with a professional means that some people who might otherwise seek or urgently need help are put off from even applying. I could speak for a very long time about the approaches to provision within organizations such as the NHS, but today it's more important to talk to you about what you could do to help and take leadership of your own outcomes, whether you're in crisis, feeling a little low, or even on a waiting list for your own session to begin. Firstly, it may sound odd, but you have to accept how you feel. It's said that admitting we need help is half the battle, and it's no different for your feelings. Your feelings are natural and valid. Don't let yourself feel guilty or like you're complaining just because there may be other people in a more difficult situation. How you feel is just that, personal to you, and you mustn't let yourself get in the cycle of feeling bad for feeling bad. Seriously, don't be put off by the prospect of a wait, as every area and case is different. Use the resources we have and speak to the professionals. Some people don't like the thought of being so personal and vulnerable with someone else. Others wonder what a stranger can actually do to help us. Trust me, these people are there to use their training through an outside perspective to help you see things, understand things, and change things in a way that you can't do by yourself. Your GP can help you find services close to you. Remember, if you want to avoid going in person to the surgery because of the COVID crisis or beyond, you can call the reception and request a phone consultation with your GP. Go outside for one form of exercise each day. I know, exercise. Outside? It's winter in the UK, but wrap up warm and do it your way. Go for a walk, run or cycle whilst following the government guidelines on social distancing. Bring a friend with a camera if you like. Even a 10-minute walk can have a real effect. It's not just about getting fresh air, but exercise causes chemical changes in your brain which can positively change your mood. If you are overwhelmed, narrow your focus. You can get through the next 5 minutes by focusing on just what is happening right now, not what may happen soon or even not at all. Breathe deeply and focus on what you can see, hear, smell, touch, or taste. This is called mindfulness, and while it might sound like it's from the far out school of advice, it's actually a psychological tool that is used and recommended by trained therapists to combat anxiety and stress. Distraction techniques can be very useful. This is another form of mindfulness for when negative thoughts and worries become too powerful. Remember a favorite song you used to love? Put it on. That creative project that you wanted to explore? Watch a how-to. And don't forget the simple value of talking to someone. Don't worry about bothering them. They'll tell you if they're bothered. Just make a call and talk about anything, everything, or nothing. There are also helplines for people at any level that feel they need to just talk. Remember, there is no need for a British stiff upper lip. Don't feel like a failure for not keeping calm. Activities don't need to be a distraction. They can be a way for you to use those feelings and express yourself. Painting or sorting those odd jobs around the house might be a constructive way to do that. But if you need to write a diary or letter to vent just to yourself, or even to take a minute from that 20th Zoom meeting or zillionth try at helping the kids with their maths, run upstairs and scream into a pillow. that is a healthy way to let off some steam. Keeping things locked away can make us feel much worse or come out in ways that we don't intend to affect other people or our jobs. This pandemic has brought havoc to our lives, and I don't want to make light of that. At the same time, we can try and find the silver lining by using this as an opportunity to change the things in our lives that make us unhappy, and try new things thanks to the greater availability of online resources. Everybody is different, experiences their own pressures and stresses differently, so try different approaches to find what exactly works for you. If you have hit a crisis point, please do reach out and make use of the resources that are available for emergencies. In the description under this video, I have included some links for some emergency services, but also some useful pages that you may want to check out. If you have any thoughts or suggestions, please feel free to share in the comments. We're all in this together. And on that note, please do like, subscribe, and share this with anybody that you know might find this useful. Stay safe, be well, and I will see you next time.